Hello, 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 and good morning to all of you beautiful nerds from around the world. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, Friday, January 31st. You know what that means? Do you guys know what that means? We were supposed to be getting an announcement about the next director of a Star Wars movie by the end of January. That's what they said. But that ain't happening, at least not thus far. How is everybody doing this morning? Let me know in chat, how was your work week? I see you guys in here. Justin, Ido, Steve, Brian, Bill, the new flutist, King Bam, Jared Good. Yo, Mr. Good is here. Yo, Tara's in the building. Trinity's in the building. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hope the day is treating you well. How's everybody's week been, man? Good week? Bad week? Average week? You guys let me know. What do you think? I made it. E equals MCU. Oh, dude. That's a good name. That is a damn fine name. That is a damn fine name. I can't believe that January is almost over, guys. I got to be honest. It's freaking me out a little bit. I still feel I need a buffer month. I need an extra month before we go to February. I need a month where I can just try to get everything figured out for the rest of the year. Why am I awake? Ryan's in the building. Long week, too much work, but glad the weekend is here. Yeah, I'm glad the weekend is here, too. What's everybody's Super Bowl plans? Let me know in chat if you guys got some cool Super Bowl plans going on. Let me know. I'm also trying to think, too. I want to, maybe I'll put a poll up or something like this. I'm trying to think, guys, on whether or not we should keep this show at 9 a.m. or if we should do an hour later. Should we go possibly at 10? Is 10 possibly a better time to do it? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the workflow. Still trying to figure out the workflow. Watch the Chiefs lose. KC, baby! 9 is good. SEN. Does SEN go at 10, though? I don't know if they do. I think they go a little bit later either way. That would run me right into Campia. I like 9. Great for my commute. 5 p.m. would be great. Love your show, man. Lots of cool info. Ido, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Speaking of crazy things, enjoy the 9 a.m. I mean, Campia every now and then and not too often. All right. Yeah, noon, maybe 11th, 2nd Street works for me. This time works for you? Maybe we'll keep it this time. I mean, I like the idea of doing a morning show. You know what I mean? I really do. I like the idea of doing this. By the way, guys, I'm just very grateful. I'm grateful for all of you that have been watching this show as it evolves, as it changes. A lot of work needs to be done on this show still, and we're still fine-tuning a lot of things. The producers and I talk a lot about different things with regards to the show. But I think in general, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about the future of this show and the future of what we're going to have going on here on the Den of Nerds Live. But this is one of the things we got to... Is the Beast Wars movies... look, we'll do Q&A in a second because I want to talk about Beast Wars. Love me some Beast Wars. But, guys, I want to get into something that's really crazy. Okay? It's pretty crazy. It's news. It might just be the craziest news of the day. I don't know. Might just
It's the craziest news of the day. Yo, this news is crazy.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is coming from Mr. Charles Murphy. Charles Murphy, friend of the channel, Charles Murphy. Very good scooper. Maybe the best scooper out there. I don't know. We've had some discussions about that, about who could possibly be the best scooper in the business for Marvel. But this is coming from his website, and I'm going to read this article for you guys here. It's very interesting. It has to do with the Shang-Chi movie. And you know what? Look, let me just tell you a little bit behind-the-scenes stuff here. this is another thing that I got to work on. I'm going to spend hours today working on this. I don't understand why Streamlabs won't let me scroll down on this news thing. I'm trying to show you guys this cool news thing. I want to read from this article with you guys here, and it's not allowing me to do it, so it's very frustrating. In fact, literally, I was like trying to figure this out right before the show, and I was like, dude, I might have to cancel the show, literally, because I can't get this stupid thing to work. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here in a second. So check this out. I put this in. Okay, so it pops up, and then we can interact. Oh, and it's not even letting me scroll. But when I do this, oh look, I can scroll a little bit, and then it stops. But anyways, we'll stop it there. I'm gonna read right from this article here, published today, maybe late last night. This is an exclusive for Charles Murphy. Okay, it reads at the top: Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings confirmed to introduce MI6 characters Lioko Wu, Clive Reston, and Blackjack Tar. Reading here, it says production on Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings is set to get underway shortly in Australia, and some casting information has begun to leak, including some very exciting, if not expected, news. The film will introduce MI6 agents Lioko Wu, Clive Reston, and Blackjack Tar. MI6, or Military Intelligence Section 6. You learn something every day, folks. I had no idea that's what MI6 stood for. That's very good to know. Military Intelligence Section 6 is the UK's secret intelligence service and has played a major role in the Master of Kung Fu comics on which Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings is based. After coming to understand the true nature of his father, international terrorist and crime lord Fu Manchu, that's faux pas. Fu Manchu is a faux pas. Shang-Chi worked alongside the then with MI6, most frequently teaming up with agents Clive Reston, Blackjack Tar, and Lioko Wu, with whom he also had a romantic relationship with. Ooh, interesting. The film will apparently introduce the idea that Shang-Chi worked for MI6 at one time, but has since made his departure from the world. Reston, whose now confirmed presence in the film was first rumored by H&E, is described as Shang-Chi's old partner and friend who is now married to Lioko Wu, an elite MI6 operative who once had strong feelings for the master of Kung Fu. Fellow MI6 agent Blackjack Tar, always up for a fight in the comics, is described as an elite martial artist who enjoys the thrill of battle, don't we all? The studio was searching for a Caucasian male 45 to 50 for Reston, a Chinese female 26 to 39 for Wu, interesting, a Caucasian male 30 to 49 for Tar, and it is believed that these roles have been filled at the time, though I was unable to get responses from representatives of the several actors. Okay. That is pretty freaking wild, guys. That is the craziest news of the day, and I want to get into a little bit of speculation about this too, but craziness is afoot. Now, the reason I think this is so cool is because there was a plot leak. There were plot leaks for this film a while ago, okay? And a long time ago, one of the plot leaks suggested that there was going to be this MI6 plot line where Shang-Chi was essentially being like a James Bond type dude, and the story was going to have a James Bond opening where there's this crazy tournament, okay, this crazy martial arts tournament that's out there being had. The tournament is being put on by Shang-Chi's father, who a lot of people think, in the comics it was Fu Manchu. A lot of people think that the Mandarin is actually going to be his father now. There's a lot of evidence and sort of smoke around that fire to suggest that in the MCU, Shang-Chi's father is actually going to be the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, not homeboy. What was the dude's name? Trevor, not Trevor Slattery, but the actual Mandarin is going to be his father. Okay, and so this plot leak was suggesting that the martial arts tournament is put on by Shang-Chi's father, and the idea is that the 10 rings are going to be the prize for the tournament, okay? And obviously, this would incite a lot of people to show up to this fight, a lot of super-powered fighters, a lot of crazy characters in the MCU to show up to this fight, all with the idea to get the 10 rings. Okay? Obviously, if any bad guy got the 10 rings, that'd be real bad for society. It'd be real bad for the world. Okay? And so this plot leak is actually seeming now to be true, to be real. So think about this. And this is, I mean, frankly, this excites me a lot. Think about us starting out in an MCU James Bond type setting. Shang-Chi, according to Charles Murphy's report here, is not with the MI6 anymore, okay? But it's one of those things where it's like, one more job, baby. One more gig. The ex-partner who's hooked up with the old love interest comes to find Shang-Chi and get him to help them because this tournament, they need Shang-Chi to enter it and help MI6 to make sure that bad guys don't get access to the rings. To me, that sounds freaking amazing. Amazing. And I also love the part that he was actually used to be MI6 himself. He literally used to be James Bond. Now, we don't know a ton about Simu Lee, but in the short time that I've listened to this guy speak, I've followed him on Twitter. When he came out to San Diego Comic-Con, came on the stage, the things that he was saying, all of this stuff made me think that the reason that Simu Lee got the job, the reason that he got cast as Shang-Chi, is because he has the charisma and sort of the quippy attitude of Robert Downey Jr. He really, to me, seems a lot like Robert Downey Jr. And I absolutely love the idea of this sort of new Iron Man-esque type character that was once James Bond. Like, I'm just loving what I'm hearing about this movie. James Bond, one more job with the Robert Downey Jr., the new sort of, maybe you could say Asian Robert Downey Jr. type character that then goes to fight a freaking world martial arts tournament, much like Dragon Ball Z, much like Mortal Kombat, much like Bloodsport, and doing that. Now, here's my other theory that I want to throw at you guys. I don't think the Mandarin's given the 10 rings away. I don't think so. I don't. Like, if you were the Mandarin and you had the 10 rings, are you really going to give those rings to whoever wins this tournament? So what's the actual idea here? Well, the actual idea is probably to recruit and to reveal some of the best, strongest fighters on the planet. People that then they might want to recruit for a team, right? A dark team. A team very much like the Avengers, but dark. It's almost as though we've talked about this a million times. That's right. I still believe. Get your shots ready. I still believe that the Dark Avengers are coming. And what a perfect way to do it. You know what I mean? And by the way, we actually did a great video on this last year. Executive producer Ryan H. and myself did a produced video about this, talking about how the new Mandarin, could definitely be the replacement for Norman Osborn. Well, why? Well, as Jeremy Conrad sort of pointed out when we had him on the show last week, or maybe it was the week before, he was sort of talking about how whoever is going to be in charge of the Dark Avengers, they need to be a Tony Stark type character. Mainly, they have to have a lot of resources, right? So Norman Osborn fits the bill because he freaking was that guy in the comics. One of the reasons he fits the bill is because he's rich as hell. He's rich as hell. He's got so much money that he could fund a team, much like Tony Stark did, right? Who else has the bankroll? Possibly Justin Hammer. You know, depends on the cash flow, what happened when he went to jail, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But Justin Hammer in the comic books, and by all logic, is still a very wealthy person. He still has a lot of power, you know, and so he could potentially be it. Now, what do we know about the Mandarin? Well, the Mandarin, the casting call that went out for Mandarin, is this elder statesman character. And the idea is supposed to be that this guy's been around for a long time. He's been working sort of behind the scenes. He has all these resources, and he's been pulling strings from behind the scenes for a long time. So, to me, that character has the resources to potentially be in charge of the Dark Avengers. Also, Jeremy Conrad basically told us on the show, guys, that the way Feige is doing this is that he has set up this character, which mainly we believe is the benefactor. It's the benefactor character from Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? The benefactor character is likely going to end up being the person that is in charge of the Dark Avengers, okay? And according to Jeremy, what he's saying is it's set. The character is set up in a way that if they handle it, if they get Norman over to the MCU, then that's what they're going to do. But if not, they'll just plug in someone else. And I think there's a lot of different potentials, and I think that mainly it would be great if the Mandarin became the leader of the new Dark Avengers. I think that would be very, very cool. So let me know what you guys think about that. There's a couple other things that I want to get to. I want to go into the theater. I want to put some stuff up on the screen, talk to you guys about a few things. And then we'll get into Q&A, guys. But, of course, let me know what you think about that. But that is the news when it comes to the fact that Shang-Chi likely going to have some MI6 stuff going on, going into the tournament. And you're damn right I found a way to get to Dark Avengers because that's what I do. Okay? So, give me 1 second here, and we will go into the Den of Nerds Theater. Because there's some cool stuff going on, man. Cool stuff going on in the world that I want to talk about. We can kind of rapid fire through some of this news here. And then I want to speculate about some funny Star Wars stuff too. There's some interesting Star Wars stuff going on as well, which I find very, very interesting. Have you guys seen the one thing is oh man, how do I even say it? The thing that happened with Luke's saber. Oh, really? We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna let me Jeez, man. You know, Streamlabs. I really don't get it. I really don't get it, man. Like it'll work and then it doesn't work. Like what the fuck? What the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. We're just going to stay here. We're going to stay here. We're not going into the theater. Theaters broke down. Theaters broke down until I figure it out. But here, we'll just rapid fire through some of this news, guys. Another big thing that happened with Marvel is that Mordo is set to return in Doctor Strange 2. Now, I think many of us saw this coming. Just makes sense, right? Post-credit scene. The fact that all of these sorcerers are being added to the film. There was also a rumor that the Time Stone would be in the movie. There was this leak sort of that the Time Stone and Mordo were going to be in the next Doctor Strange movie. So, hey, look, one of two things is going on here. Either Doc has to team up with Mordo for whatever's going on in the multiverse of madness, or they're going to have to go after him. Mordo, likely villain, but potentially anti-hero, potentially someone that they have to team up with to defeat whatever's going on. Because I still don't have a clear-cut idea here of who the villain is in Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. I really don't. But that is pretty wild. Definitely has a lot of different implications about that. I love Chiwetel Ejiofor. I think he's awesome. So it seems to be that's going to happen, and that's pretty freaking cool. Now, this one's really cool, too. This one's coming from Charles Murphy as well. Do you guys know who Isaiah Bradley is? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Isaiah Bradley is, so they call him like the Black Captain America. Okay. He was first in a limited series in 2003 called Truth, Red, White, and Black. This is a very interesting character that has a very interesting background, but essentially he is an African American soldier that is essentially captured by the Nazis, and they reverse engineer a batch of the super soldier serum, and they basically make him into a super soldier. Okay? Now, his there's a whole another weird side to this, but one of the things that's really interesting is his grandson, Elijah, is a young Avenger. In fact, you've seen this dude before. He's like the Captain America looking guy. He's a black dude, Captain America looking dude with the blue shirt and the star on his chest. And look, it's so obvious that they are setting up the Young Avengers in the MCU. Do you know what I mean? Like it's pretty apparent. It's pretty apparent that that's the way they're going. They are definitely filling all of that out, and I think it's pretty cool. I know some people are like, oh, I don't know, Young Avengers not really my thing, and I'm not really into it. Look, I'll be honest with you guys, it's not really my thing. I never really read those books, but I know there's a lot of people that really like those characters. You know what I mean? I see people out there kind of being like sometimes, nobody cares about these characters. And first of all, that's stupid for a couple different reasons. Number one, nobody gave a shit about the Avengers. Really, nobody did until they started popping off in the theaters. Like, the Avengers didn't really even become what they are now until after the films. Just being real. Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody gave a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy until the MCU. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Even Iron Man wasn't a super popular character. Nobody cared about, and look, I'm being hyperbolic just like I just told you not to be, but really, nobody really cared about Captain America until the MCU. So I'm getting tired of seeing people bring that shit up. Nobody cared about them in the comic books. Why are they putting this character? Because that's what Marvel does. They take characters that are obscure, that nobody cares about, and they find it a compelling way to portray them on the silver screen. I'm sick of it. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the crazy Marvel news. Now, there's something else I wanted to get into, you guys. I have a really interesting thing I want to talk to you about. Let me see if I can pull this up, and then we'll do Q&A, and then we'll get out of here. I got to work on these videos. There's this reveal in Star Wars numero 2, okay? And this image... Let me see if I can get this image. Maybe, just maybe, StreamYard or Streamlabs will actually do one goddamn thing I want it to do today. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay. Still terrible, and I still hate you, Streamlabs, but you know what? Yeah, it's so awful. Okay. There was an image at the end of Star Wars issue number 2, and it has a Jedi-looking figure, okay? Basically, there's a vision. We're all wondering, where did Maz get Luke Skywalker's saber from, right? Where'd she get it from? It's a mystery. It's never really revealed. You know, that's a great story for another time. In the newest comic book, Luke has a vision when he's back on Cloud City, and in this vision, his hand and the lightsaber are spiraling down the bottom of Cloud City, and something or some Jedi being captures it, okay, catches it, and this person, you see them at the end, and they say like, follow your destiny or something to Luke, and this is a big mystery. People are talking about this, right? And it almost looks like it's a female character. I can't quite tell, but I've got a theory about it that I think is spot on. And what I think is happening is it is actually Maz Kanata, but it's really 3 Maz Kanatas standing on top of each other's shoulders, doing like a dwarf, 7 dwarfs kind of thing, and. I think that's what it is. I think that the big reveal is going to be that there was a Jedi around this time in the galaxy that was going around doing all these crazy things. And really, it was actually 3 Maz Kanadas standing on top of each other. And Maz Kanadas were out there making a big splash as far as Star Wars. Like Goten, yes. Yes. Hey, thank you for all the blessings. Thank you. You guys are nice. Very nice. Very nice. But yeah, that's pretty much all the news that I wanted to talk about. But now let's get into some Q&A, guys. We'll go for like 20 more minutes here. Right, I should have done a hot take for that. Honestly, a lot of the time prep for this show was sitting here screaming at Streamlabs. Trev, why do I think 3 Mazes, though? It's a joke, bro. I'm not serious. I don't really think that. I don't think it's Ahsoka. The skin looks human on the picture. I don't think it's Ahsoka. Some people were saying it could be Mace Windu, but that's hilarious to me because the very hand that is holding that saber is the hand that was cut off of Mace. I don't know. Maybe they'll explain it. Could be even someone from a recent video game. It does look a little bit like it's a dark-skinned person, but it's really hard to say. You know what I mean? It's really hard to say. So, but anyways, guys, let's get into some Q&A. Drop your questions in to the chat. You can, of course, drop a super chat. It supports the channel, and I'll read every single super chat that comes in within reason. But if you don't have any loot, you don't even got to worry about it. Just drop your questions in. Oh, yeah, and also smash like. Please smash some like. Why does it have to be somebody we know? It certainly doesn't have to be somebody. You're thinking the lady from Matt TV? Hey, maybe. Hey, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Unless they use Krakoa. Oh, you're talking some X-Men stuff, huh? In Jedi Fallen Order. It's very possible. It could be her. You mean like the lady that is helping Cal or whatever? Could be. Did you hear about Sebastian Stan throwing shade for some reason? Yes, I did, CGM. And here's my thoughts on that. Here's my thoughts on him throwing that shade. A lot of people think he was throwing shade at Disney. I don't think so. I think he was throwing shade at fans. Like, when I look at that comment, I think he's just saying, he's basically kind of throwing shade at the person that made the comment. Because, like, people have these things. They say all these crazy things that are like, boom, this is what I believe. This is clearly the way that it is, you know? And they're making all these stances about what Marvel does with their characters and their endings and stuff like that. So I don't think he's throwing shade at Disney at all. But because, you know, a lot of people thought that was confirmed because John Boyega said, welcome to the club. But guys, John Boyega isn't really beefing with Disney as much as he is beefing with Star Wars fans, specifically Reylos. Like, the Reylos just won't stop, man. And look, are there good Reylos out there? Maybe. No, there are. I've met a few. But by and large, the way they conduct themselves on Twitter is insane. It's insanity. And, like, you know, the way they come at John Boyega and all this stuff, it's so ridiculous to me. I feel like it's pretty crazy. I feel like it's pretty crazy and cringy. And he was beefing with them. And I think this person that was that was commenting on this for Sebastian Stan is a Stucky shipper. Do you guys know what a Stucky shipper is? It's Steve and Bucky shipping Captain America and Bucky together as a couple, right? And it's kind of a big thing, actually. It's like a thing that people really have a lot of fun with or do whatever. But I think really more or less he was kind of replying to that and how crazy that is. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I don't think he's throwing shade at Disney. Although, frankly, like, you know, Disney's definitely not perfect, guys. Like, Disney does a lot of shit that's like, really, bros? And, you know, this whole image thing that they try to accomplish and sort of the hypocrisy that goes on with that. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Apocalypse and Magneto isn't going to sit by while Thanos kills half the mutants. That's a good point, actually. They should just say mutants have existed in another universe where Avengers didn't, but Doctor Strange 2 brings it all together in one universe. Brian O'Connor says, where's Squirrel Girl? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, Stucky, Ryan. It's a real thing. June, let me say this to you. Let me say this. As far as the mutants are concerned, what I think they will do is that mutants did exist, but the blip or the snap or whatever is going on in Infinity War and Endgame accelerated the mutation. I think mutants existed because obviously like Apocalypse existed, but he must not have been around, right? During the snap or whatever. I think they've definitely existed, but I think that the mutant problem or the mutants becoming very prevalent out there in the MCU, I think that will happen because of something in the MCU. There will be a catalyst for the mutations happening a lot more. That's what I think. We need Strife and Mr. Sinister. You're damn right. You're damn right we need that, man. Strife is such a cool character. Mr. Sinister is awesome. That would be really, really cool. Yep, it's just like what the Stones did to Wanda and Pietro in Age of... I put it, yeah, the problem, Second Street, because that's the whole thing. Trinity, in the comic books, people view it as a problem. Makes 100% sense. I still can't see Magneto doing nothing because he should already be alive. Yeah, but what if he was imprisoned? What if he was imprisoned and then he got snapped away? You know what I mean? Could be. Doesn't that ruin a lot of origin stories, though, Josh? Maybe. But honestly, like, they got to do what they got to do, guys. Like, this is a... Like, what would you honestly want? What would you honestly want? Does it make more sense if the mutants just are, like, now happening in the cinematic universe? Does that make more sense to you? Or would it make sense that the mutant gene had been around, there had been enhanced, possibly even people that were mutants that didn't even know they were mutants, you know? And some of this stuff had just been being kept under wraps, or Charles Xavier was maybe erasing these events from people's minds and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Don't you think that would make more sense than they never existed in the MCU? You know, I think what they're going to do with the Fantastic Four is sort of fish out of water, like they were in the negative zone, trapped in the negative zone or whatever, and now they're out. I think that's how they'll do that with the Fantastic Four. But you can't do that for mutants. You know what I mean? It's one of two things. Either the mutants were around and they obviously weren't that predominant, duh, because we don't see them, or they weren't around and now they are around. You know? Simple way to get rid of Magneto is just put them on Genosha right away and off the bat and make where he doesn't care what's going on outside of that. Yeah, it's very possible. Good idea. On Krakoa. Yeah. Could be on Krakoa too. It's going to be very interesting to see how they pull it off. Very interesting. That's for sure. Bring in mutants as a setup to Secret Wars. I would say so. Yeah. I'd agree with that. What if they existed, but the Avengers got this at most of the battles? Look, it's possible. I think that's the same thing's going to be said about the Eternals. What's up with the Eternals? If they're supposed to be the protectors of Earth, if they're supposed to be really, really powerful and stuff, where were they? Where were they in 2014? Where were they when the blip happened? Where were they when Thanos invaded? You know what I mean? Where were they? I think it's possible, and we talked about this before, that judging by the fact that they're going to adapt some of the Neil Gaiman run, that the Eternals might not even have known they were Eternals. Many of them might have had their memories wiped. And maybe Cersei then removes all of that, removes the wipe, right? Yeah, so that's what June is talking about in chat. So, yeah, or due to Sprite. Is it Sprite that gives them the amnesia in the comics? Either way, that's, I think, how they're going to get around that. Now, what do they do with mutants? I don't know. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's hard, right? Like, are they going to do Charles? Or is Magneto going to be the father of Wanda Maximoff, right? Are you going to have an older Magneto and an older Charles Xavier? And if so, what did they like? What were they just two of the only mutants around? Were the X-Men around, but they were kept hidden? You know, there's a lot of confusing things when it comes to that. So I don't really know. Trev's coming in with the super chat, says Superior Iron Man leads to Dark Avengers. Doom. Dude, Superior Iron Man is a great little run. I really like that run a lot. I thought it was great. That was after Convergence, right? Or the one where they flipped, right? The good guys or the bad guys became good and the good guys became bad. That was a cool run, man. Remember when Carnage was trying to be a good guy? That was really funny. So yeah, look, Superior Iron Man could lead into Dark Avengers, maybe, but Iron Man's gone, dude. You know, Tony gone. So I don't know. I doubt that's how they're gonna do it. No, they said the stones woke up their latent power. Yeah, maybe, possibly. Yeah, and again, look, I see a lot of people talking about this in the chat. They hid themselves, the mutants. Totally possible. There's a lot, dude. Look, that's what's awesome about the mutants. When it comes to the mutants, we have the ability to tell almost any kind of a story and do almost anything. The mutants' power. I mean, look at what Hickman has done in the new X-Men. It's insanity what they're able to do. And the brilliance of his run is how he's able to use all the powers in a way that really makes sense. But when they properly use their powers together, they're almost like unstoppable. There's almost nothing they can't do when they combine the powers that they have. So. Maybe Cerebro and Charles has literally hidden the mutants from everybody's brain. You know what I mean? It's possible. He's pretty powerful. Could be a thing. I don't know. I do know. The only thing I do know with regards to the mutants is that it's very important. It's going to be very important as far as how they figure all of that out. You know what I mean? So, not really sure. Not really sure what they would do. Latveria is more like Wakanda than Sokovia. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd certainly agree with that. And I see you're kind of talking about that with Justin a little bit. Yeah. A country destroyed by the Avengers and Doom leads it to prosperity. Hey, could be, man. Could be. Doom is look. I want to do a list. In fact, here's the thing. We're gonna start bringing top 5 Tuesdays back to the channel, and probably do top 5s here on the live show every Tuesday. But essentially, I might start doing a thing, and maybe next week will be the top 5 characters that aren't in the MCU that people are excited to see come into the MCU. The top 5, man. And maybe I'll put like a thing on Patreon where all the Patreons can kind of chime in on that and sort of affect it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's really interesting. Who are you guys most excited to see? You know, let me know in chat. I'm like Doom is definitely at the top of my list. Doom. I'm very excited to see Namor. Man, like there's just so many. I'm so excited to see the mutants in general and what he does with mutants, what Feige does with the mutants. Fantastic Four. Sentry for me. I mean, like I gotta see Sentry. Sentry's a dope character. I don't know. Those are some of mine. Doom doesn't need to blame the Avengers for nothing. His core connected to the Fantastic Four more than the Avengers. He doesn't need a reason to hate the Avengers. Doom, it's Doom. He hates everybody. Yeah. Well, he doesn't necessarily hate everybody, but he just thinks he's superior and he looks down on everybody is really what it is. Hector says Adam Warlock, Doom, Galactus, Beta Ray Bill, and Namor. Those are good choices. Blue Marvel, June says. Blue Marvel's a great character. Not Space Cloud Galactus? Yeah, hopefully not, right? Sentry in the Void, yes. Sentry is the reason why we can't use the Professor X theory with the mutants. Maybe so, and I do see where you're going with that. The Beyonder, like you're talking about like white disco suit Beyonder? That'd be pretty sick, huh? White disco suit Beyonder would be kind of awesome. But I like what Hickman did with the Beyonders and made him those crazy aliens. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, Molecule Man and Beyonder so we could set up Secret Wars. Ooh, Gambit's a good choice, dude. I wonder if Channing Tatum will do Gambit in the MCU. Wouldn't that be cool? Marvel couldn't figure that out. Dazzler? Dazzler's all right, bro. I don't mind Dazzler. Tony didn't solve time travel in one night. I think he had been working on it, and what Scott told him was the final piece to solve it, which is why Tony knew to make GPS watch device. Maybe. Justin says Rogue stealing Captain Marvel's powers ASAP. Yeah. You know, I honestly think, here's the thing that's crazy about Captain Marvel. And by the way, I just want to let everybody know here, guys. Everybody in the chat, you guys know about the stream we're doing Monday night? Monday night, we're doing a big community stream. We're going to talk about wokeness and politics and pop culture. And I really want to get into it with people on Monday. So you got to come back on Monday so we can really get into this. But a couple things about Captain Marvel I want to say. Number one, the movie is definitely not as bad as people said that it was. I watched the movie again recently, and I was like, that's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Okay? It's definitely not as bad as people thought. Also, Captain Marvel is kind of a snarky bitch in the comics. I honestly think that Brie Larson is kind of perfectly cast for Captain Marvel. I think the problem with Captain Marvel character is that there's not enough to fill it out. It feels like, and it felt like, first, female movie, Captain Marvel's going to be this big deal. It felt like Captain Marvel was maybe going to be this character that we were all just going to have to like focus on and love and all that. I think honestly they should turn her a little bit heel. Turn her a little heel in the comics. She is kind of a snarky bitch in the comics. You know what I mean? She's kind of perfectly cast. So, like in that Rogue situation that we're talking about, right? If they bring in Rogue and they make Rogue a fan favorite, someone that like the fans like love, there could be a little meta thing going on there where she does take Captain Marvel's powers and like everybody's like, yeah, like we like Rogue, like Rogue's dope. We like Rogue way more. You know what I mean? I think that could be really cool. And just having different characters in general with in the mix with Captain Marvel is, I think, going to be much better. And I don't think, like, obviously Brie Larson's comments were idiotic, right? They really were. But I don't think that, like, it was so overblown and people are so ridiculous about that thing. Brie Larson is a good actress. I'm excited to see more of Captain Marvel in the MCU. But I'm not going to lie. When she was fighting Thanos, I'm just going to be real. When she was fighting Thanos and Thanos punched her ass with the Power Stone, I was cheering for Thanos. You know what I mean? I don't like Captain Marvel like that. But I think it's totally okay to have that kind of a character in the MCU. Maybe we need a snarky bitch heel. I'm okay with that. That's my take. But I'm sure that some people would freak out and say that I'm not woke enough for saying that or whatever. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. Maverick Pilgrim in the building. Maverick Pilgrim in the building. But that's what I mean. So Justin's like, hell yeah, I was cheering to that too. But this is what I mean. Like, Justin, and this is just me. This is where I'm at with it. Can't that just be okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, does it have to be a thing where we're like, Captain Marvel, Captain, get her out of the MCU, Captain Marvel? No, like, can't it just be a thing? Can't that character exist in the MCU and we still have fun? She's still accomplished. She still means whatever she means to some people. And like people like you and I can sort of kind of root against her a little bit. And you know what I mean? Like when they did Civil War 2, like, dude, Civil War 2 was perfect because Carol is that kind of a character. Everybody loves Tony. It's like wrestling. They set that up. They set up the heel and the hero. The heel and the babyface, right? She's the person you love to hate in the MCU. Isn't that okay? Can't we have her in the MCU? Like, what I'm saying to you is, Like she can be, like we can't just. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I obviously haven't had enough coffee to properly illustrate what I'm talking about. But it's like, why not? Let her be in the MCU. Like she's part of the team. Are we going to root for other people when they fight her? For sure. You know what I mean? Are we going to look to see her kind of get put in her place a little bit more? Sure. But that's all part of the flavor. To me, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? Let me see what you guys think. Yeah. Kylo Rob says, Captain Marvel hates white people. Oh my God, bro. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's funny, but I'm concerned that you might be being serious. Yep, setting her up as an angsty, chip on her shoulder militant. Yep. That's okay to me. We got to stop being so divisive and drawing all these lines and all that. Because here's the thing, if I can say that, if I can speak on that shit, and look, if someone tells me I'm a woman-hating toxic male, I can pat them on the head and say, well, you're obviously an idiot. You know, here's the door, right? But at the same time, the other end of that is just as bad. The other end of that where it's like, Ree! Every time Captain Marvel comes in, it's like, nah, bro, like, we need to let that shit go. You know what I mean? And stop being so crazy about everything. The Captain Marvel movie ain't that bad, guys. I got to tell you, it really is not that bad. And Brie Larson is a great actress. And she thinks that what she has this idea of what she wants to do with her platform. I disagree with it, but that's her choice. It's all good. It's all good, baby. Different strokes for different folks, man. I don't want to take the enjoyment away. If young girls go in and really love Captain Marvel, if old girls love Captain Marvel, if old men love Captain Marvel, I don't want to take their enjoyment away from it. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you feeling me, dog? Are you feeling me? Jason with the super chat. Damn, man, go get a coffee. I got my coffee right here, bro. I got my coffee right here, but thank you so much. Josh, stop making so much sense. The internet can only take so much. It just doesn't have to be that way, man. You know, we don't have to make it that contentious, ridiculous thing, that environment. In the same way that, like, I don't want to be attacked for just saying how I feel about it, which, by the way, it's an ongoing conversation. I think you should be allowed to speak your mind and then amend how you're thinking about things once new information comes to light. No one should ever be held hostage by speaking aloud something that they're thinking, and then someone says, that's the story of you. That thing you just said, that's you forever now. That is illogical and fucked up. It doesn't give us a chance to have actual discourse and to converse about these things. It's like in the same way that I don't want to be held against the fire for just being honest about how I feel, we cannot flame people for liking Captain Marvel or wanting that character to have a bigger role in the MCU. And we can't prejudge the product because of our feelings about what an actress says. That's just me, though. That is just me. Jay Ort says, guess I'll have to watch the live videos and the replay after this. I never get a notification yet. All is set. Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's talk about that for a second. Then we get on out of here. Come back Monday, man. Oh, Monday's going to be spicy. Monday's going to be nice and spicy, baby. Nice and spice. The wokeness is strong with this one. Oh, man. I don't know if I've ever been called woke, but I'll take it. Do I get a hat or something? That'd be kind of cool. Let me see here. Where's the thought? Okay, so about notifications and everything on this channel. You got to understand the way that this YouTube thing works. The main thing for you guys to know is if you want to catch the show, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. 9 a.m., if you go to this channel, the stream will be there. So YouTube is not going to hide the stream from you if you come to the channel. But I think YouTube is in the process of trying to figure out what the hell we're doing over here. because we've gotten hit with like some things where they're like, hey, look, you're swearing too much. Hey, look, this show's not suitable for advertisers, blah, blah, blah. So YouTube's trying to figure out what the hell's going on over here. At the same time, the analytics on this channel are great. They're through the roof because Justin was having a lot of trouble with the video game content on the channel, and then we left it for the couple weeks at the end of December and early January, a completely dead channel. So from YouTube's perspective, what they're seeing is something's going on here. People are there's a lot of people watching compared to what they were before. A lot of people watching. The streams are doing really well. The analytics of this channel are on a trajectory to which very, very soon, I would say within a month's time, the live streams that we do here every morning are going to be pushed out to a ton of people, where we'll start seeing like 200, 300 people watching congruent, right? And we'll be starting to get pushed up, so the views on the replays will start getting to like 3,000 to 5,000, right? And that's going to be like right as we hit that sweet spot will be when I have everything really fine-tuned, where I will figure you out, Streamlabs OBS, you piece of shit. I will figure that out. We will have more segments. We will have more awesome stuff going on here with you guys. Right at that trajectory, when the algorithm starts pushing us out more, we will be at our best. So you guys that are with the show right now, you guys are like the early adopters. You're like my day ones. You're my day ones. And I love you. And I love you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. But that's kind of explaining what's going on with that. Kylo Rob says, young man, you swear too much. I know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure that out. It's like, what do I want to do here? Do we not want to swear as much? Do we want to swear as much? Should I try to beep it out? I don't know. Here's my thoughts on that. And since we're just chatting, I'd love to know your thoughts about this as well. This is what I would love to know. Should we not swear as much in general? Or is it okay to swear on this live stream, and then when we take the clips and we put the clips on the main channel, then we beep out the swearing? Maybe what we need to do is put a little disclaimer at the beginning of each show that says, this show is not for your kids. This show will contain harsh language, crazy humorous parody segments and stuff like that. Maybe that's the way we go. Maybe as long as we do a little thing at the beginning, then we can do our thing. Beep out the swearing in clips. Beep it out with a funny sound. Swear for live streams and beep out for the clips. Yeah. A lot of people saying just be myself. I tell you what, don't tell that to the producers. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I love the producers. Let's see here. Government doing shady things, betraying the trust of its citizens, literally occurring every time a member of the federal government appears in an MCU movie. But things are getting too woke. Robert, I get you. I can't wait. Ooh, Al Schuler just popping in to say, I love the idea of the disclaimer and make it funny. Yeah, that's a good idea. But by the way, what does this show you guys? It shows you that the producers are always watching. They're always watching, and they're ready to just hit me up and be like, Josh, you motherfucker, I can't believe you did this, that, and the other thing. You know what I mean? These guys are like my bosses. You understand? Like, the producers are, in a lot of ways, my bosses. I would say, like, they're my bosses, but you guys are my bosses as well. You know what I mean? I want to do right by you guys. Look, you guys could be doing anything in the world right now. There's 1,000,001 things that you could be doing, 1,000,001 things that you could be watching. There's so much entertainment out there. The fact that you guys have coming back to the channel and watching my thoughts, watching this weird ass show that we've been putting together and trying to figure out is amazing to me. So you guys don't owe me anything, including your time, the time you spend watching these videos. That is a precious commodity that you guys can't get back. You know what I mean? So I consider you guys to be my bosses. You know what I mean? And also the producers as well, because the producers are just like you guys, and then they took the step to literally invest time and money to help us build this thing that I want to build. You know what I mean? So, got a lot of bosses, but I love it. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful. We the motherfucking suits, says Al. Josh just turned into Danny Glover. I don't know what that means, but maybe. You do you, man. Live is live. Use disclaimer for clips. Yes. I think that's the way to do it. Does the Den of Nerd need any blog writers? Well, it's funny. It's interesting. I actually want to perhaps... I'm the Suge Knight of the group. You won't see the EPs and videos dancing. Yep, that's true. So, interesting thing. We're thinking about relaunching the website, okay, the Den of Nerds website, and having people that, if they want to submit articles and stuff like that, they can totally do it. Now, the bottom line is this. It's a weird situation for me because until we get the website properly monetized, I can't, pay people. The only thing we could offer is a platform and exposure, right? So, if people are good with that and they want to just have their articles on the website, you know what I mean, and get their name out there, have their social media linked, and be involved with the Den of Nerds, then yeah, totally, man. We could look. I would love to do that, but ultimately, it has to work towards a goal of getting monetized and then paying people for the work that they do. So, yeah, something we've been thinking about. There's a lot of people on Patreon actually really do want to submit articles and submit stuff and do that. So, yeah, I think that's totally a thing. Trev coming in with another super chat says, we do it for the fans, but not children under 13. Yeah, very possible. Very possible. Let's see here. Who's the next villain in Black Panther? I think it's Namor, but could be Doom. 24-hour live stream marathon. Yo, I'll totally do something like that. And honestly, there's gaming too, right? So playing games and streaming games is something I want to get into as well. So some of the time, what I thought would be really cool is if we do the morning stream. What if right now we just went into playing some games? You know what I mean? We streamed for an hour, we did Q&A, and then I was like, all right, guys, let's go to, in the same way that we go to the theater, I was like, let's go to the gaming station. Let's go to the Den of Nerds gaming station. I want to play some games. If you guys want to hang out while we play some games, let's do that. And then we can start streaming some games. You know what I mean? And sort of hybridize what the stream could be. So, yeah. Lots of cool stuff. Love your style, dude, but one thing, do you have to cuss so much? Name that movie. That would be from The Big Lebowski, and that would be a great scene. A great scene between the cowboy dude and the dude. Great movie. Any excitement for the Lord of the Rings show? Dude, for sure, Hector. For sure. I really want that show to be really successful. I would love... we need another big thing out there. Pause. We need another, huge popular pop culture thing. Because between, Star Wars and Marvel stuff... And, look, I love DC, but DC just... It isn't quite there right now. And every time I talk about DC, I'm negative about it, and everybody hates it. Why you gotta be so negative on DC? You know what I mean? And I would love for the Lord of the Rings show to blow up and be a cultural phenomenon in the same way that Game of Thrones was. Dude, I'd love to be doing theory videos of Lord of the Rings, talking about Lord of the Rings with you guys, doing coverage, reviews of each episode. That'd be freaking amazing. So yeah, I would love it. Yesterday's video in DC is great, says Trinity. Thank you so much, man. I really like that video as well, but it's not getting the views that a Marvel video would get. But, the thing is right now, January is a weird month and things are sort of slow right now. And views have kind of been down, just in general for a lot of different people, not just myself. But, once we sort of get wrapped into a new big thing to follow, the views will trick up for every little thing. But I agree. I thought the DC video was good yesterday. Tara and I think had some really good thoughts. I hope I represented her thoughts well. I was actually going to reach out to her and make sure that that was a good representation of what she was thinking. I know that in her mind, she the one thing I'll say about Tara that I think I didn't convey super well about in yesterday's video is that she really thinks that DC needs to not do what Marvel is doing. You know what I mean? And I might have made it seem like she thinks that, and that's not true. I was just simply trying to parallel what Marvel is doing that makes it successful and what DC could be doing to make it successful. But from a branding perspective, DC is different than Marvel. I don't think they should be chasing the Marvel formula. They need to be doing their own thing. But I think that it needs to be it needs to have its own tone, but understand what people love about the characters. Like, and I actually like the Zack Snyder DC stuff, but like Batman doesn't kill, bro. Superman doesn't kill, bro. And I know that might seem trivial. I know that might not matter. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. But it is a part of the character. In fact, it's actually a flaw. Batman doesn't kill people. It's a flaw. If he would have killed the Joker way back in the day, he would have saved so many different lives. And by the way, Batman does kill in the comics, but every time he does, it really messes with him. He's not intentionally trying to kill people. Batman in Zack Snyder's films is like, there's a scene in Batman v Superman where Batman comes in a jet and literally fucking blows away like 3 trucks full of bad guys. You know what I mean? So that's not even my biggest gripe. Like, I like the Zack Snyder stuff. I really do. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, and I wish that we would have gotten to see his true vision for all of that. But they need to remember what people love about these characters in the comic books, you know? Marvel is great at that. The fact, like, Chris Evans' portrayal of Captain America is so damn good. It's so damn good. It's so good. And we don't really have that in over at DC. Tara said it was well represented and she liked the video a lot. That's awesome. That makes me feel great. Makes me feel great. But anyways, guys, gotta get on out of here. I've got some other videos I want to get in on. Thank you guys, as always, for hanging out here in the Den of Nerds Live. Be back at it Monday morning. And again, I really would like some people to show up and actually join the conversation for Monday night, the community stream, man. Let's not cast stones. Let's sit around the campfire and let's actually talk about this. You know what I mean? I want to know what you think. I think conversation is the way through some of these issues. So come on back Monday morning. We'll be kicking it off. Probably going to be talking about the Black Widow trailer that drops during the Super Bowl. So we'll probably do that Monday morning. And then Monday night, Marvel community stream. Please come there and let's talk about wokeness and politics in pop culture. I think it's going to be very fun. All right, guys. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. And then I got to wait a little bit because I always cut it off way too